Hey there everyone, as always, thanks for clicking in. Today I'm going to demonstrate the brand new, amazing, extremely powerful and capable T7 from OneScreen. Now remember, three main reasons as to why OneScreen. Hardware, number one, quality, speed, performance, power. Just through the roof hardware capabilities, that's number one. Number two, software. We have an abundance of software that we're going to go over a lot of today as well. Three, support and training. Our guru capability is second to none. It is unparalleled. It is the best support and training mechanism in the industry, and maybe even any industry for that matter. So I'm going to go over that as well. But please know, those are your three main reasons for why OneScreen. Let's jump into the demonstration. I always like to start with the hardware specifications, okay? So 65 inch, 75 inch, 86 inch. Soon to come, we'll have a 98 and 105 as well. But today, 65, 75, 86. All of the screens have the same specs and capability. The only difference you're gonna notice is the diagonal size. Starting from the top, we have an 8 mic array built in here to the top. That's gonna give you a lot of capability on some of the software applications that I'm gonna get to show you later. 2 front-facing 20-watt speakers. An additional 25-watt subwoofer in the back. So really good, rich audio output capability, though we have additional audio connections in case you want to connect your own audio pieces as well. Of course, the standard really thick 9H rated anti-glare glass, 4K resolution, 50 points of touch, 50. So of course, all those standard specs are going to apply. All of our units come out of the box with a wall mount capability or wall mount kit, flush. By all means, you can set it up in a lot of other ways with different wall mounting kits as well as mobile carts. Now, additionally, we have a couple of these dummy stylus pins. I do say dummy because there's no electronics. They are magnetic. They have a thick side and a thin side, and they can just pop right there on the front. And then also the ports. We have now 3 USB ports. 2 are going to be for functional use, plugging in computers and phones and things of that nature. There's going to be one up here at the top for an attachable camera that you can get called our Snap Cam. And of course, you have your HDMIs, USBs, RJ45s, RS232s. All those ports are going to come standard as well. So really, when you're looking at the overall scope of this, again, always great quality. We do not skimp there. We want to ensure that the pieces are gonna stay true and all that good stuff. And so ultimately, you know, right now we do still boast less than a 2% failure rate, which is phenomenal in any industry, especially our industry. So again, talking about earlier why OneScreen, the quality is there. Now, let's go into the Android specs. Remember, every touchscreen out there, or almost every touchscreen out there, has an Android brain built in. The great news nowadays, and especially with T7, is the power and capability that it now holds. So, for instance, Android 13, which will still be upgradable in the future, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of ROM or storage, octa-core processing, okay? This is an extremely powerful, capable machine. Not to say that our previous models weren't there, but let's look at the facts. When you have 8 GB of RAM, 128 gigs of ROM, and an octa-core processor, that means you can do so much now with the native Android system, which just gives you so many more options as a customer. Don't forget, you can always plug in your computers, your Windows and your Mac, even your Chromebook, plug them in, use those as additional inputs. We have an onboard OPS option, a small form factor computer that you can plug in. I mentioned the camera. We actually have 3 different cameras, so really a lot of options on the hardware side. Last but not least, EDLA certification. What does that mean? Google authorization. That's what it means. What it means now is that my Google Play Store, my Sheets, my Slides, my Docs, Google Chrome, all that can be used now natively on the screen. All the models before this and our brand and any other brand did not have the ability to natively use those apps on the screen. So what's great is not only can you use them, but you got the power behind the Android now to really use all of that together. So again, going back into the Android side, tons of capability, tons of power, tons of speed, so that now you can legitimately use this product natively at the screen without connecting any computers, but you're always welcome to plug in your computers wired or wirelessly. All right, now, Just when you get to your OneScreen and you turn this guy on, there's going to be 3 different ways that you can choose to sign into your OneScreen account. Remember, you don't have to. Right when you plug in, you're going to have a lot of great capabilities, all these options down here, all these apps that you're going to have, all that stuff. But ultimately, by logging into my OneScreen account, I can connect that to my Google Drive. I can connect it to my Microsoft OneDrive. And what you'll see here, this is my Google Drive that I can now access on the screen. So you can do an actual, I've actually already logged in, but let me click on the sign out button just to kind of show you what this part looks like. This is how I can actually bind my Google Drive. I can bind my beacon card, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But ultimately, you can type in your credentials and use a Google or Microsoft login. I can also bring up a QR code, and with my smartphone, go ahead and log in with my smartphone, which is great because a lot of times that's on your person. And then lastly, we have what we call our OneScreen beacon card, which is our NFC card, where I can actually just pop it right down here and it would recognize it, and then I can go ahead and log in that way. So 3 different ways to get into that OneScreen account to really get your customized application. I can go to any OneScreen and sign in on any of them and get that same exact customization. And you'll see in a little bit as I'll go over that in terms of what I can customize. But I really do want to focus on the OneScreen beacon card for a moment, because again, this is why OneScreen, just in addition to the notes I made earlier. First of all, this is not only your NFC to log in and log out on any OneScreen. This is a priority notification system. So if you listen to this, I can double tap this button on my person, right? Usually have it on my lanyard, maybe on my hip. It's gonna send a signal to my OneScreen. My OneScreen is then gonna send an email, a text, and a phone call to the people with whom you designate at your organization, usually your school. That's gonna be a principal, a vice principal, SROs, your student resource officers. So you can actually have this notification going out to all the different people that you guys as a school designate. Now, why is this important? Well, first of all, there are other options out there. You can have a button on a wall. You can have an app on your smartphone. You can have a phone system. You can have an app on your touchscreen. But here's the thing. You're gonna wanna have this on your person, because as a child maybe passes out or is seizing, or maybe there's a fight that might be happening between students, or even coming at you, the teacher, you're gonna not wanna have to try and figure out how to get to that button, or fumble with your smartphone to get to the app, or make it your way to the phone, or even get back to the touchscreen. Maybe you're on the other side of the room. If I can double tap this in my classroom and all of a sudden get the notification going out to the necessary people, me as a teacher, I can now help the student or students, or also diffuse what's going on as I'm getting help coming to me. This is an amazing option that adds a level of safety and security, literally coming with your touchscreen. So this is gonna come standard with it, NFC, but with the priority notification beacon system. OneScreen Beacon, it's an amazing add-on that we've added this year with our T7. Now, customization. So remember, right now I'm logged in. So if you look here, when I swipe over, I already had this guy over there. But all I have to do is hold my finger on this. I can change the wallpaper and the style. I can choose new widget tables. And I'll just give you an example there. You've got all of these widget tables that are here. So if you want to add a bunch of different things to your desktop, guess what? Click on this guy. Say, you know what? I want to hold this down, and now I can drag it, and you'll see the outlines. I can put this wherever. I can even go to the second page and put it over here as well. So you've got a lot of options to really bring in whatever widget tables you want to make it as clean and functional for you. Even down here, this is your Google toolbar. Now remember, if I swipe up from right here, I have the ability, I can drag and drop anything down here. I can even put it right here on my desktop. Customization, right? Now, the cool thing is all these 6 buttons, I can choose which ones they are. I can even put more of them into one, for example, so I can actually have 2 on this button and things of that nature. So really makes it a good functional piece. So customization is definitely an option that's going to be right there for you as you do that in your OneScreen account. So every time I log in, it'll have my background, it'll have my different widget tables, wherever I put them, on the first page, the second page, I can even have a third page. So really good option, so that it's really my world that I go to regardless of whatever OneScreen I end up using at that time. So what I'd like to do now is jump into our OneScreen Write. There is a ton of capability in the OneScreen Write that I'm going to go through. Now, first of all, you'll notice my little Google toolbar down here takes up a decent amount of real estate. If I hold my finger on there, bam, off it goes. As soon as I want to bring it back, you'll notice that little white line. I can hold my finger on that, and there you go. Really simple. Also, those apps, I can't just swipe up from here, but if I click my little tool here, all your apps are right there as well. So again, just real functional applications. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down. Remember, with our OneScreen solutions, we're very user-centric. We're all about working into your flow, being it frictionless application so that you do your thing normally, we're just gonna come in and make it better, enhanced, include engagement, all that kind of thing. So let's do this real quick. I always like to show this off, and I'm gonna actually make an adjustment here. So right now, normally, for example, what a lot of people do is they'll do an equation, for instance, and they're gonna wanna drag and drop maybe something away. Well, you just notice that it's still in pin mode. So then I have to click on selection, right? And then I have to move it this way, right? And then I wanna start writing again. Oh gosh, I'm still in selection mode. Now I need to go back to pin, for example, okay? So that's just a quick tidbit of what a lot of people end up doing. Now watch this. I'm gonna click on my setting to use my finger select. Now this is the great part. I'm gonna do that same exact equation, but without doing anything, I'm gonna take it with my finger and move it, right? Again, these are simple but powerful things that really enhance and help the teachers or the users of the screen be able to do things much more simply. If I want to take my finger and highlight the whole thing and move the guy around, I can. And guess what? As soon as I land it, now I'm doing more equations at that point. Simple, right? Grab it, take it, grab it, take it. Because my tool setting is that way, I can facilitate that. I can flip my tool or my pen around, and now I've got a different color. Now, you see that? It's a little bit off. Watch this. If I do it lightly, it's gonna be thin, and then as soon as I press harder, it's gonna be thick. This is pressure sensitive. Again, these are not common things in a lot of the screens out there. These are fantastic. Additionally, palm rejection. If I actually, so many people for years have put their palm on the screen when they write, and it messes up with the technology, the IR system. But I can now put, and you cannot see this, but you have to trust me. When I put my hand on here, guess what? I'm now doing again my high level math of that 2 + 2 = 4, but my hand was resting on it. It's recognizing that it's just my palm, and then I can go ahead and write whatever I want to write. Again, making things functional, making things easy, working right into the flow. So that's actually a phenomenal piece that we do offer here. I am gonna go through more tools here. I'm gonna try and fly through these because I know this takes some time, but I think they're very important. I can take my protractor, watch this, do a right angle, and then bam, I click on that button, and here you go. I can literally just take my finger and draw a line right there. You know what? I'm gonna make that one, let's make that one, let's see, here we go. Let's go my black. So again, I can even choose my pens. On the thick side of the pen, I can choose whatever thickness and color, the style of pen, and same thing on the thin side. So really good function there. I can go ahead and do that, and now I've got that information right there. Again, I can even switch it like that, and all you do is draw your finger. So just showing some of the tool sets. I am gonna show the shape application. This is always great because shapes are great. Doesn't matter what grade you're teaching, but the 3D shapes are really awesome. People love to see the fact that you can draw a 3D shape with this. Now, multi-user is always really cool because I can click on 2, 3, or 4. So I can have 1, 2, or 3, 4 people up here. I like to put my pen down. I'm gonna choose everybody get a different color. And at this point, again, I'm just gonna write the number 4 because I can do that with 2 hands. And watch this. I have the ability to crop my screen into 2 or 3 or 4 pieces so that I have the ability to have a lot more engagement with the students that want to come up. Again, maybe I have a math problem up here and I want them solving it. Maybe I write a sentence up there and I want them to grab the nouns and the verbs. Again, as a teacher, you can definitely think of all the different ways that you can facilitate that functionality. Let me go into another page. This one is awesome. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go ahead and hold my finger on this guy. Watch this split screen capability, all right? I'm gonna take my finger, hold it up here, bam, I got split screen. I can do that with any of these applications at the end of the day, okay? Now, this is also really cool. I love tigers. Tigers are pretty awesome. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and click on search. What it's gonna do is gonna go right into my Google application, say no thanks there, and bam, there's tigers. So you can literally just draw whatever you want to draw right here and be able to bring that in. Also, and actually let me just bring this browser in too, to give you just another look at it. Oh, I actually apparently had already written tiger over here. Point is, now I can actually hold my finger on this, drag it over, and now I've got this beautiful image of a tiger that again, I can always, and now you got that there. Here's what's also really nice, is the ability, I can even take this content here, and let's just grab some of it, and I'm just gonna drag it right here onto the screen. So look at this, and then if I wanna just go and minimize that, now I've got my image of my tiger, I've got the content, you can literally drag and drop all the images and the verbiage that you're gonna wanna bring right into your system. And I can search it right through my whiteboarding tool. Just write in Tiger, circle it, and off we go. So again, tons of capability here. Don't forget, the ability to move the content around is huge. I can zoom in, I can zoom out. So again, even though this is a 75-inch screen, you might be used to a 4x8 or a 4x10 or 4x16 whiteboard. This gives you that space. The other cool thing is I don't necessarily have to be in that mode. If I take 2 fingers, I can move the content, and again, 2 fingers to zoom in and zoom out. So there's even different ways to do that. Now, before I move on to anything else, I do want to show this as well. When I tap on my pages, you'll see all the different pages that we have. I can click on any one of them, as you can see them, and I can go ahead and access any one of them. So I just wanted to show that to you real quick. But going back over to my menu button, I have the ability to change themes. So if I want to go, put in different lines, for writing sentence structure, I could put in graphs, music, there's sporting applications. Again, if I want to do a football field, maybe I make a green football field, right? Get it nice and functional. So you have that capability. Lastly, the ability to save all this information is very important. I can email all 6 slides right to myself as a PDF. I can save it to my cloud storage because again, I've logged into my Google Drive on my OneScreen account. I can save it internally to the screen as an ENB file. What's great about that is when I save it internally, it's still gonna be in an editable format so that if the bell rings or what have you, and I didn't quite finish, I can save it this way. I can then go back to it the next day. It's all gonna be just like it is here in full editable mode so that I can just go back through this and hit the ground running and keep the annotations going. So having that as a living document is kind of how I position it, is a really good thing as well. Now, I said earlier, I'm gonna say one thing lastly. Here's a great part about the cloud application, or really anything. If you have anything stored on the computer, or in this case, accessing your cloud, I'm gonna go ahead and go to my classroom, and I'm gonna pick one of these documents. I'll just choose my animals one. It's pretty cute, kind of fun. So now I got my animal doc. Instead of just opening up the PDF on the screen, which you can do, and then annotate over, which you can do, I brought it into the whiteboard. So now, my students can come up here and they can start, writing here as an example, right? They can at that point go ahead and start making notes over here. So they can start talking about the tigers and the bears and searching for real images and things of that nature. Here's another cool thing. It comes with an eraser. Watch this. Just take my eraser and I can erase it. Magnetic, so it's just gonna stick to the side of the screen, and as soon as you write something, hey, I can just go ahead and use my eraser. You saw me earlier using the back of my hand, so both work, but a lot of times because you're used to dry erase pens and even chalkboards for that matter, having an eraser is actually something that is pretty common, so we included an eraser to kind of get back to that normal functional application. So that's really the whiteboarding tool that I wanted to show you. And again, I'm just gonna pull my finger up here, watch this. This just gives me the ability to look at all the different things that we've done. If I don't want that, I can just swipe up. If I don't want that, I can just swipe up. So this is very tablet-esque, whether it's iPad or Android, it's familiar with your phones and your tablets. So again, we're going back to that working into your flow and just making it real easy to apply. Now, left side, arrow. Right side, arrow. Exact same tools, right-handed, left-handed people. But here's the thing. What's nice about this is I'm gonna have all these applications readily available to me at all times, okay? Now, for example, if I wanna click on my annotate button, right? So I clicked on the arrow, clicked on annotate, this guy pops up. And you know what, that's probably not the best color. Let's choose yellow. I can do that. Again, I can change the thicknesses. So these are all functional things that I can do, right? I can erase with the back of my hand, or I can grab my eraser. But again, I can annotate over anything. This tool is amazing because whether I'm in my Android world, whether I have a computer plugged in, wired or wirelessly, I can annotate over anything. All of these tools, and especially when I get down here further, they're all gonna be functional tools so that you have the ability to use them whether you're in Android, Windows, Mac, Chromebook, it doesn't make a difference. It's all gonna be functional. Now, talking about great applications here. So the ability to pick up a pen and just annotate on the screen without even hitting the arrow and without hitting the annotate button. Again, functional, easy, right? I got my finger here. I can go ahead and touch anything and touch on this. And as soon as I want to, circle that privacy clear. Let me give you a better example, okay? Let's go ahead and bring up, let's go back to Chrome real quick. So now I got my tigers right on. Gonna stay, I didn't mean to click on that. So click on this, guess what? Let's look at those guys' eyes, right? Now watch this, because it's still interactive, I can still fully control this. I can either have it snapshot or I can draw on it and then move it around. So again, really functional. You'll notice that the toolbar shows up, but the engagement of the pen to just pick it up and just draw whatever you want to draw is great. Again, making things easy and intuitive for the users here. This is something that we really focus on here at OneScreen, as you can see. Let's go ahead and pop that guy back up. Going down the line, I also have a capture tool. Again, this is great. I can capture this, I can put it into my whiteboard, I can save it, I can go full screen and take a snapshot of the whole thing. This is free form, so I can literally grab whatever I want to grab. If I want to pop that into my whiteboard, I can send it right over to my whiteboard, and there you go. And I can put this wherever. If I want to copy this to another place, put that in slide 4, I can copy that, and now it's going to go to slide 4. Page is successfully copied. So again, tons of capability with capture, and remember, that can be used with any of the inputs being engaged, whether it's an onboard computer, connected computers, it doesn't make a difference. Again, these tools are going to be fully accessible. Just to kind of fill this out, I have a timer. I have a stopwatch. I have Spotlight. And remember, Spotlight is one. Let's start that. Start that, go up there, send that up there. And then on the Spotlight, you'll notice this, I can change the clarity, right? So I can make it really dark. I can make this bigger and smaller. Everybody loves the Spotlight feature. And again, just to make sure we're on the same page, this can be used even in your Windows application, your Mac application, your Chromebook application. It does not matter what is being connected here. All these tools are going to apply. And then record is actually really nice. I got a record application. Remember, I mentioned that we have an 8 microphone array in there. So when I click on record, 3, 2, 1, it goes down there. Anything that I do now is going to fully be accessible. So now I'm just going to go ahead and say, you know what? We are, in my terrible handwriting, mind you, we are recording right now. Circle that. Now I'm going to click on stop. It's going to say, hey, I can open up the Explorer. I have it right here. It's that simple. And you can move it around. I can put it into my cloud. I can put it wherever I want to. You can see my files over here. But now let me go ahead and open this guy up. And let's pump up the volume a little bit. There we go. So you then have you're not going to hear it because I'm wearing a microphone, but the audio picks up, the recording picks up, and you'll see how clean that is. It's super smooth as you watch it back. So the quality is fantastic as you're watching the playback at that point. So the record feature can be an amazing tool. So that way the teacher can record what's happening on the screen with their audio. They can post that up, to someone if they need to be able to see what happened in the class. They can keep it for their own purposes, all kinds of things that can be used with that record feature ultimately. Let me go ahead and get out of these guys. They can be a little distracting at that point. But again, all those tools are there. Now, here's the last one that I'm going to talk about is OneScreen Class. Now, OneScreen Class is great because your students now are going to have the ability to take their device and actually either go to the website here, pop in this code, or they can also click on the QR code. Now I'm going to do this myself real quick, just to add myself as a participant. All you do is type in your name. So I've got Kevin, enter. So now as the teacher, once I see people have users joining, I can enter the class and I get this little toolbar, if you will. Now again, let's just do something fun here. And I'll just give you an example here. I usually would like to do something educational, but instead is OneScreen. Amazing. Good question, right? All right. And then I can always, because I have the ability to do some multiple choice applications here, I can go ahead and put some answers in here so that I can get an understanding from the students. Now, what's really nice is I have a randomizer, a select tool. Click on this. Obviously, it's going to come back to me. There's only one person here. But if I had my 10, 20, 30 kids there, it's your spinner. It's your randomizer, if you will. And then I can choose on that child to maybe answer that question or answer any question that I might ask, either verbally or on the screen. My responder. This is actually fun because if you look at my screen, which you cannot see very clearly, When I click on start, this actually says be fast. So if I click on the answer and click on this, it's gonna say, hey, Kevin was the first one. Hey, Kevin, what do you think the answer was? And again, it's a way to raise your hand, but do it electronically. And then the last way is your actual voter tool. So here's really nice, because when I click on begin, again, I now have the ability on my smartphone here, or my Chromebook or whatever device you're using, your iPad, I can click on this, click on OK, click on finish. You see my name popped up right there. And then, of course, as a teacher, I can say, yep, that was the right answer. In this case, guess what? They're all the right answer. But this shows a really great way to have class engagement, again, with our screen for free with the student devices. So it gives you the randomizer, it gives you the responder, it gives you the ability to do multiple choice. And think about it this way. If you're sitting there and you're lecturing about something, maybe you already have some questions and answers that you have in one of your Google Slides or your docs or a PDF. You can actually go through and ask them and have the kids respond and just see kind of on an ad hoc basis, how well are they understanding what you're talking about, right? It's the ability to be able to get that real quick feedback and say, gosh, 30% of you are getting this. Let's go over this content again. So that tool, again, OneScreen class is built right in and is found right here in your tool chest, if you will, on either side of the board at that point. So again, fantastic options that are going to be used in any input, Windows, Mac, Chromebook, and Android. I keep saying that because I want you to understand that those tools can be used at any time. Now, let's jump over here into our OneScreen share. And so with OneScreen share, this gives a lot of capability in the classroom if it's allowed, right? That's what it comes down to. We're all about options here at OneScreen. So the simple fact is this, we provide all these different tools. Which ones do you want that are gonna make your classroom environment that much better, that much more enhanced, that much more engaged? So with OneScreen share, number one, this is our wireless tool. So you can take your teacher laptop, Windows or Mac, let's say that's the primary options, and I can wirelessly stream here onto the screen. Now, I can do that 5 different ways: AirPlay, Chromecast, Miracast, Webcast, and Webcast is new and great because you don't have to be on the same network to be able to see or to push content. So that's another one. And then OneScreen Share is a free downloadable app that can go on any device. Now remember, with OneScreen Share, it can literally be any device, any hardware device with any operating system. Can then wirelessly share onto the screen as long as they're on the same network, except for in Webcast where you have a little bit more flexibility and you're doing it through a web browser. So that's another great option. The other cool thing is that if you are doing, let's say, the Windows or Mac laptop, that's the teachers, when you do share wirelessly and specifically through our OneScreen Share app, that then is going to give you the ability to also give touchback so that it's fully interactive at the screen. Now remember, it's Wi-Fi. It's really that environment that you have. So the success of that will really be based on your Wi-Fi environment. We all know that plugging in the cable in any situation versus something wireless is always going to be more stable and more consistent. But nowadays with the technology for wireless capability, it's fantastic. Additional pieces here are I can actually take up to 9 different devices and stream them onto the screen, up to 9. It'll basically Brady Bunch out for you. At any point in time, I can maximize any one of them, focus on them. Don't forget, I can take my pen, draw all over it. I can then save it if I want to, minimize it, and go on to the next one. So again, that might be maybe a student application if it's allowed, and the ability to be able to access all those screens wirelessly can be a really big benefit, right? Now, another thing that can be done is you can actually take whatever's being shown on the screen, and again, it's any input, right? If you have your Windows computer connected, anything that I'm going to be pushing to another device is going to be seen on said device. So the point here is that you really do have a great functionality to be able to push this content onto student devices. And think about a vision impaired child or someone that isn't vision impaired, but maybe sitting a little bit too far back to easily see what's going on the screen. They can have it mirrored on their device so that they can see a little bit more clearly right there on their, call it a Chromebook or their iPad. So, and technically you can do that to a ton of different devices, but usually it would maybe be a select few children that you can do that with. The other great part about this is the ability to have it actually be a document camera. So on the app, you can actually have a situation where you have a document, basically a camera feature, and this makes this a portable document camera. So I can go over to a child's desk, or I can go over to any 3D object in the class, click it, and get that image right there on the screen. And then again, I can annotate over it. I can save it. So even if you have document cameras, this gives you another tool as a teacher via your iPad or your phone or what have you to use this as a portable document camera as well. Technically, you can also use it as a remote control. It basically just to control the Android applications as a mouse. You're not going to draw with it, but another little tool built in. So the OneScreen Share app, that is free, that can install on any of the devices. Again, extremely powerful for sharing content onto the screen, for taking the content and pushing it back to different devices, to using it as a document camera, a wireless mouse or keyboard, if you will, more so a wireless mouse. Just really, really powerful and really, really capable. So that's just another great tool set that you have there as well. Give me 2 seconds here. Now let's talk about the OneScreen remote control. You might not think that that's very special or even relevant to talk about, but we all know that remote controls are very common for the teacher or for any user for that matter, for obviously turning the unit on and off, volume control, etc. However, we do have blue, red, and green customizable buttons on the remote control. This is extremely capable and extremely powerful. Let me go into my settings button. Let me look for remote configuration. Now look at this. You might not be able to see it all that well, but there's about 20 to 30 different things that I can customize for these 3 buttons. So right now I have settings, calculator, browser. Let's give it a try. Click on my green button. There we go, web browser. Red button, calculator. Blue button, settings. So you can actually customize those whenever and however you want to, which is really nice because there's so many different things you can do. So that way you have your 3 favorite buttons listed right here. Lastly, on the remote control, we have voice assist. Open Google Chrome.
Opening Chrome.
There you go. So the ability to use voice assist can be really beneficial too for any teacher as well. So just clicking on that button and asking it to do whatever you want to, open up a 5th grade video on YouTube, whatever it might be. Open up my Google Slides. You've got that built right into the remote control. Now, taking a quick breath, everything that you've seen me do so far, thus far, has been natively done with the OneScreen T7. Everything. I have not had any computer connected. I haven't done anything other than access, the ability. You know what? While we're here, while I'm talking about it, I just want to open up this real quick just to show you, right? So let's bring up my math document, taking a quick tangent just to prove the point, right? So I can go ahead and open up that file from my Google Drive. And again, I have the document right here. If I want to pick up my pen and bam, now I'm just going to go ahead and start writing and doing my math. Again, I just wanted to prove that point as I thought about it because again, so powerful to be able to grab from my Google Drive, grab a pen, annotate over it, and then even save it if I need to. So not to get off base there, but again, everything that we have just done is all done right through the native Android 13 application with all that power, all that speed that could be done. Now, another thing that you may or may not be familiar with OneScreen is that we also do a lot of software development as well. Not only do we make some of the best touchscreens in the industry with some of the best specs out there, we also do a lot of software development. Now let's talk about OneScreen Scribe. OneScreen Scribe is a software that OneScreen has built. Yet again, we do offer a lot of different software applications. So as I slide my finger up, I can go ahead and click on the transcription application. Now watch this, very simple outlay here. Click on start. It says speak into your microphone, and that's what I'm doing, speaking into my microphone. Now, here's the benefit, right? You have about 3 different things you can really use with this tool. This is transcription. I literally have a closed caption going on. Now, if I have a hearing impaired child, for instance, that can of course read better, they can maybe hear, especially if I'm turning my back, I have the ability, watch this. Let me go ahead and pull my whiteboard up and then pull this guy over here. I can have the transcription going on that side as I'm speaking. And again, now I'm sitting here whiteboarding as I need to so they can maybe read it so that my body's not in the way. Here's another great thing. If I go ahead and minimize everything, I'm going to have the transcriptions right here. Now remember, we talked about our OneScreen Share app where I can actually push this content back onto a child's device. again, that child can then read what's going on as I'm doing any application. So if I bring up that whiteboard, you can have that application running so that way they can hear, more so read what I'm saying and have a much better experience. Another great application is that it's going to also translate into a lot of different languages. So that way, for those children that are coming into the class who definitely read in their native language, but maybe don't understand English as well, it can be a great, Band-Aid as they start learning English to be able to read in their language what the teacher's saying. And then lastly, it also has the ability to go ahead and take everything that you said and truncate that and summarize that in a nice little package so that it can be shared with the students, for instance. So again, OneScreen Scribe, again, something that OneScreen has built. We have it built right into the screen. It works phenomenal with our 8 mic array, and it gives you transcription, translation, and even summarization. So another great OneScreen tool as well. Now, a really fun one that I want to go over is OneScreen QuizWiz. Now, I actually got it right here. Now, QuizWiz is something that we came up with. We started, talking to a lot of teachers and doing surveys. And what we found out through an informal survey was that teachers on average are spending about 3 hours a week generating quizzes. So we said, how can we help you? Here's what we did. We built out a whole platform, web-based. Now, mind you, you're gonna see me doing this on the touchscreen. Quite frankly, this is gonna be done on the teacher's computer because again, you're generating quizzes. But for the sake of demonstration, I'm gonna go ahead and take content for history of the United States, and I'll just give you an example here. Now, I can go ahead and take any soft content from my computer. I can take a document, I can go ahead and copy and paste information. It doesn't matter what it is, and I'm just gonna copy this. Now, pull this back down, quiz generator, hold my finger on this, and paste. It's gonna say that I have 26 sentences, 534 words. Click on Create Quiz, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000. Usually in about 2 to 7 seconds is what I've calculated on average, is that now the software is literally reading that 534 word document and generating 10 questions like that. That is a time saver. That is helping teachers, helping people. And again, think about it this way. It could be any content. Maybe you actually have a curriculum-based content. Take a document that you might already have questions and answers for and get some new questions and answers. So, mix it up a little bit to maybe get a different perspective. Something that's not just built out of the curriculum that you have. So this can be used for all kinds of things. Now here's the great part. It's not just static here. If I click on this, the question goes away. Now I've only got 9. Maybe I didn't like that question. Customization. However, additional customization. The green means that that's the answer. You know what? What if I don't like that answer? I get rid of that one. What if I want to do a new answer? And in this case, I'll just put in 2,000 just for the heck of it, okay? So now, or 20,000, doesn't make a difference. But now I click on this again and I'm back to my 10 questions. I got rid of one answer and I added my own. Customization for both adding or getting rid of questions and even changing answers. Now, here's the best part. Click on share or save. I can PDF this guy. I get my teacher document, I get my student document. One with the answers, one without. I can also send this to Google Forms, which is really the big one, right? Use your LMS, push it to your children via Google Forms, and now you've potentially saved hours, right? Do this for a couple of different classes, and bam, maybe it took 15 minutes instead of 3 hours. So again, we're always trying to work into your flow, make things frictionless, save time, make things simple. That's what we're doing here at OneScreen. And all you gotta do is flick up right there and do that. Now, this is gonna be more of a technical application. This isn't gonna be for the teachers per se, but I do wanna show this off. This is OneScreen Central, all right? This is really gonna be for your IT folks. OneScreen Central is your MDM, mobile device management platform, okay? Now, if you can look here, this is kind of my home screen. If I click on this guy, this will take me to all the devices that we have on this network in the world, not just in my office, not just on my campus, in the world. The point being is that it's a cloud-based application. Now, what does this mean? I have the ability as an IT person, let's say director or staff member, to then be able to access any of these screens. I can click it here, get them all, or I can say, you know what, I only want to focus on this one, but I have the ability then to click on one or all of them. I can install and uninstall apps onto their screens like that. Remember, we have a Google Play Store. You can blacklist and whitelist apps that they can and can't download. So you got a lot of control there. I have the ability to send a message. It could be a principal message. It could be whatever. It's just gonna, whatever you're doing and the screen is on, whatever you type in there, bam, it's gonna pop up so that you can be notified by whomever. Also, we have advanced notifications as well. So if I click on repository actions and advanced messaging, right here, you actually have a lot of different ones. Like for instance, I have this fire alarm one. If I like that one, I click on apply. That's then gonna go to one or all or any of the screens that you end up engaging with. Again, all you do is choose it right over, get out of this one, and just choose it right over here. This is standard nowadays. If you're getting multiple screens, I don't care if it's 10, I don't care if it's 10,000. You're gonna need a platform like this to be able to manage all the screens remotely, because you don't wanna have to run to every single screen. This gives you a great capability. You even have the ability to remote into them and access them if you need to, and get into the system, as your IT person can do that. So again, just wanted to go over OneScreen Central as well. You see the different applications here. We have a Learning Hub product, which is going to be a great application for distance learning, for lecture capturing. That one's available as well. We have a lot of software. I'm really just scratching the surface here. As you can see, I've already been talking a long time today, so I can't go into every single bit and piece, but just know that that's an application that's extremely dear to our hearts, is really being able to bring in these nice, functional software applications that can really help and enhance the classroom application. Okay, so that kind of covers our OneScreen software offering. And again, abundance of software, another reason why OneScreen. Now, here, I do want to go over the signing out process, because this is actually very, very important. Remember, I'm in my Google Drive or my OneDrive. I'm in my Google Workspace. I didn't even show this yet, so I'll bring up my slides. I got slides. Remember, I have full access and capability and functionality of Google applications right here on the screen. This is all authorized, it's all legitimate now, whereas again, in years past, that was not the case. We've been authorized, we're good to go. So again, you can do everything right here on the screen. Now here's the important part. Google Drive, OneDrive, Google Workspace. This is my world. I need to be able to get out of this and make sure that no one else is accessing my information, just like with your computer, just like with your phone. Here's the great part. Again, if I have my OneScreen beacon card, I can tap it here, it comes up, hey, I want to log out. If I did the QR code, I actually have it on my web browser, and actually let me see if I have it still on this one. I think I did it this way, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Yes, now look at this. So if you do the QR code, hopefully you can see this well enough, I have a sign out button right there. If I click on that, it'll sign me right out. Likewise, you can just do it right from the screen. Click on sign out. I have the logout button right here. Now you saw me get into my Google Drive. You saw me get into my Google Workspace. When I click on log out there, direct logout. Okay, now what's gonna happen, it's gonna log me out. And this is very important. So now you'll see my Google Drive is gone. The sign in button is there. Now I'm gonna click on my Google slide, or click on Google Slides. I gotta log in, okay? This is very important, because what you can't do is a couple of things. First of all, you can't not log out, right? You need to be able to log out. Now there's obviously an onus on the user, on the teacher, for instance, to log out. Many different ways to do it. But you also can't have a lengthy, difficult process to do so. So literally clicking that button, or clicking the button on my phone, or using my NFC card, very simple. Here's the best part. We have a backup plan. In our settings, it actually lists it, hey, after X amount of time, as the screen sits idle, it will automatically log you out as well. So you can choose that time frame, but remember, that way, if that teacher happened to leave and forgot to log out, the great news is, as long as it was sitting idle for X amount of time that you designate, it's gonna log out for you as well. Remember, there's still onus on the teacher, on the user, to log out of things. It's not just magic, but we're giving really good, easy tools to facilitate that log out process. So that's actually really important as well. So that's the great thing on the privacy side of things, because again, we're bringing a lot of great stuff onto the screen. That's your stuff, but we're making it really easy for you to get out of those applications at the same time. Last but not least, we gotta talk about OneScreen Guru.